Hey everybody. So I wanted to go over the rules of tea ceremony. So some people are like, is there any rules? There are rules to tea ceremony, especially the Cha Dao. The Chow Dao tea ceremony rules. So I mean, I think a lot of this relates to Gong Fu Cha as well, but it's really, I mean, I'm, let me take a drink of my tea. I'm getting riled. I'm all riled up. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this course in tea. So, the only major rules, like major no-nos in the tea ceremony, is like no phones, no multitasking, don't read books, don't. I mean, I guess if you're learning, you can like look at the document that you have because you'll be learning, but like no multitasking. Be totally present. Don't be cooking supper while doing a tea ceremony. Like you want to be totally present. And that is the only rule that you really can't break in tea ceremony. So that's why it's like a cultivation of mindfulness and a cultivation of like consciousness and stuff like that because you really are focusing. It is a moving meditation. And yes, as you practice it, you will basically memorize the steps of the tea ceremony because it's not, I mean, it's complicated at the beginning, but it's not that complex. And so you'll get a feel for it pretty quickly and you will kind of make your own style. Um, Everyone has their own flourish that they bring to it, but basically everyone follows the same methods. But even if you were to totally like mess up the methods and you didn't follow the guide, you did everything wrong, and say you forgot to rinse the tea leaves and you forgot to rinse the bowls, if you were to just be super present and no multitasking and just like be really intentional, your tea ceremony would still be a success because you're there to cultivate practice. Like, and it's really a way of like befriending befriending the elements, because the tea was grown in the earth, you know, and it is a specific blend of like the sun and the rain and the environment. So it's got all the elements are growing in the tea already, you know. Then you're using the tea in that tea ceremony and so, in a lot of ways, like you're bringing those elements to life in the tea ceremony. So, like the water is the water in the tea ceremony, the earth is the tea itself, the air is the steam coming off of the tea, and the heat is the water being boiled, the heat being boiled. So that's a little bit about like the elements. And so it is about like taking a step away from this world that is busy and just getting quiet, getting peaceful, getting internal, spending time getting to know yourself, getting just a refresher, taking a moment to meditate and ground out and just be. That's the main teaching of tea. That's why it's the one rule that you can't break, is you have to be mindful. You have to be aware. No multitasking, no phones. Like, don't be Instagramming while you're like while you're doing it. Like, just be present. Like a serious tea person will never take pictures of their tea ceremony. Uh, because they want to be present in the tea ceremony. It's like taking a picture in yoga. Like basically the only time you get pictures of people in yoga is when they're doing photo shoots. Because when you're practicing yoga, you're just in the pose, you know? Like I'm not thinking I'm in my warrior, I'm gonna take a selfie. I am in the pose. I'm thinking about my chest opening and my shoulders broadening and my feet rooting down into the earth. And yeah, I'm a yogi, like I think yogi is a weird word, but yeah, I practice yoga. Like you're in the pose, you're being mindful. Like the only time you see pictures of yogis is when they're getting a photo shoot or when they're teaching a yoga class and they have to record it. And it's very similar with tea ceremonies. Like you're there to be present. The only time you're gonna get a picture of a tea ceremony is when people are like someone else comes into the tea ceremony and takes a picture. And some people that are pouring tea are against this because it takes people out of their practice, and some people are like totally for it and it's no big deal. Everyone gets to make their own rules around what brings them in or out of ceremony. So if you find for yourself, you know what, if you're gonna take a picture of our tea ceremony is gonna take me out of the present, like then no photos. But if like for example, I know in like a friend, I have a bunch of people that I know that do Gong Fu Cha, and they'll be serving tea, and someone else will come into the room and they're serving tea to a bunch of people, and they'll like snap a picture of the group doing Gong Fu Cha, and like that's like the tea ceremonialist for is totally fine with it. They're like, that's fine, I don't care, it's good. And like they're actually thankful because they're like, I don't have any pictures of tea ceremony because I'm busy pouring the tea. I'm being present, I'm holding the space. And so they're actually thankful for it. But like generally people in the ceremony don't take pictures. But if someone comes in and they're like, "Oh, this is so cool, can I take a picture?" Like that's kind of how you get documentation of tea ceremonies because the people in the ceremonies are being present in that ceremonial way, whether being mindful, they're creating compassion for themselves, for others, whatever their intention is, like that's another piece or rule of tea ceremony is that, it's not just not being, it's not just about not multitasking, it's about being mindful, having an intention. So when I'm setting up tea ceremonies, basically the moment you decide that you're going to have a tea ceremony, you're in tea ceremony. And then when you're setting up for tea, like when the water's boiling and I'm setting up my chazi and I'm setting up my space, and if you're advanced, you can have cushions for people to sit down on, but it's not necessary. But I have yoga cushions, so I use them. Uh, I'm making my space all nice. Like I'm meditating. I'm meditating and I'm setting the intention of the tea ceremony. And, lately my intentions have been for like, increased awareness, that the tea ceremony would bring us into increased awareness, that it would be a loving awareness, that we'd be more mindful of each other, more, not just like harsh awareness, but like loving awareness. And for like healing for inner child parts, just for healing in general to happen, for joy, for love and beauty and laughter, for forgiveness, grounding, presence, compassion. And like you can pick one. Generally, when I'm meditating, like I want them all. I'm kind of greedy. Like I want all of them. I want all of that stuff in my life. And I'm just gonna kind of pray for that and set the intention and the tone. And then when you're in ceremony, there is like you hold that prayer or that thought or that meditation or that intention the whole ceremony. You're holding that space energetically for the other person in ceremony. And, like and by them participating, by drinking tea with you, they're engaging in your intention. And there's a certain moment in in Chowda where like you Chada, where you pick up the plate with the tea leaves on it and you hold it at your heart and you pray on the tea leaves. You put your intention into the tea leaves, you know? You put your intention into the tea leaves and then you put it into the teapot. Or like every time the tea is steeping, you put your finger on the lid of the teapot and you hold it for anywhere from 8 to 15 seconds. Usually a shorter amount of time at the beginning of the first brew, and a longer amount of time the more you're brewing it, because the tea is getting weaker. And so you put your finger on the lid when it's steeping, and you're just infusing that tea with your intention. So you're just being intentional about it. And if your intention is just like, I just don't want to be stressed anymore, that's totally fair. Like your intention can be whatever you want it to be. But really, the only really hard and fast rule is to be present, to be intentional, to not multitask, and to just be present with the tea, with the elements, with your own consciousness. If there's someone that you're serving tea for, with their consciousness as well, and you're just being present and you're being mindful, and whatever else that you do is bonus, but that's really the crux of it. So yeah, that's the one real rule of tea ceremony.